Okay, so picture this.
In your opinion,
You're
when
out
you
in
look at a
nature,
river
you're
like
wading in
this,
a
what do
cool
you see?
river,
Okay.
Sun's on your
Well,
back,
if you
and
don't
as you're
see
sifting
anything
through
but
the
water
gravel,
and a lot of
feel
ordinary
something
stones,
smooth and
you should
hard.
know that in the eyes of a
Bam!
professional
Pull it out, and it's
prospector,
a sparkling
this river is a great
gemstone.
opportunity to
Wow.
find precious
That's what we're
stones of the
diving
highest
deep
value.
into today,
Now you might
gemstone
be wondering,
prospecting,
but
and
how
you
does a
could actually
prospector find these
experience
stones?
this.
Nice.
Well, the
We've
answer
got
is
this
easier than it
awesome
seems,
online guide
because in
called
this video
Discover
you'll see
Hidden
how it is
Gemstones
possible to find
in
gems
River
in
with
rivers.
Ease
That's
to help
right,
us out.
especially if you live
So
near a
I'm
river
really
or if
excited
you
to
like to
dig
go
into
for
this
walks in
today.
nature
It sounds
near
like
the
a lot of
water's
fun.
edge.
It is.
All
These
right, so the
places are
guide
usually
starts
full of
off
small stones
focusing
and
on
minerals,
rivers.
and it's in
Why
these places,
rivers?
among
Why are
the
they
ordinary
such great
stones,
places
that
for
you can find
gemstones?
precious gems
Well,
disguised as
rivers are
ordinary
really
stones.
nature's powerful
So it's best to
sorting
keep an eye
machines.
out.
Oh.
They've
What's
been shaping
more,
the
this is not
landscape
only
for
true for
millions of
rivers.
years.
Some
And as
gems
they
can appear
flow,
on some
they erode
beaches
rocks
or in
and
dry
carry
river
minerals
areas that
downstream.
haven't had
Okay.
water for a long
And those
time.
heavier gemstones,
And if you think
like
about
garnets
it,
or
the image of
sapphires,
prospectors
they
is
end up
directly
settling in
associated
specific
with
areas.
rivers,
Oh, wow.
where they
they're
seem to
heavier.
be
Okay,
looking
so
for
it's not
something
just
valuable.
about going to any
But
river
why
and
is there
hoping
this
for the
idea of
best.
prospectors
all.
looking for
There's some
gems in the
real
river?
strategy
Can't they
involved.
find gems somewhere
Understanding
else?
the geology is key.
Well, this
Okay.
reference exists for
So,
two
for
reasons.
instance, like if you're looking for
Firstly,
those really
there is a
dense,
certain ease in
durable
looking for
gemstones.
precious stones and
You wanna
metals in
focus on
these
areas
environments.
that maybe
And
had
secondly,
ancient
these precious
volcanic
metals and
activity.
gems can be
Oh.
found in
or
any
specific
river,
rock formations
meaning that
like
you can
pigmatites
only
are
find out
present.
if there are valuable
Yeah.
minerals
wow.
if
These
you
are
go
often
there to
prime
look.
locations for gem concentration.
So let us know
That
in the
makes a lot of
comments if you've
sense.
seen any of the stones
Now,
I'm about
the
to
guide
show you
also
in any
mentions
river you've
these
been
things
to.
called
But what
alluvial
precious stones can you
Yes.
find in rivers?
What exactly are
Well, to put
those,
it bluntly,
and
the
why
good
are they
news
so
is that you can
important for
find almost
gemstones?
all of the
Alluvial
150 mineral
deposits are
gemstones
like
that have
treasure
already been
chests
cataloged.
left
So it's
behind
good
by
to know
rivers.
what these rough
They're
minerals look
basically
like in nature.
accumulations of sediment,
Normally, most
gravel,
stones found in rivers have very
sand,
similar
other
characteristics,
materials, and
such
they've been
as this
transported and
semi-rounded
deposited by the
appearance with
river's flow.
semi-polished edges.
Oh.
So the river
This
has
is due
already
to
done a lot of
thousands
the
of
heavy
years
lifting
of
for you.
friction between some
okay.
stones and
Concentrating
others,
those
as if the
gemstones
water
within these
itself were naturally
deposits.
polishing them.
basically, we need
So
to
it's
learn to
common
think
for
like
them
a
to have
river.
this
Follow
smoother
the path,
appearance.
see where things would settle.
And that's where the research comes in.
Okay.
You want to know what gemstones are typically found in your area? What geological formations
The
are
most
present?
common
Right.
stones in
And where
all the
those
world's
alluvial
rivers are
deposits are
quartz and
likely to be
stones in the
located.
quartz family.
So this is where it gets
They can come in a
interesting.
variety of
The
colors
guide
and shades,
suggests
and in most
focusing on
cases
the
are full of
small
inclusions
stuff
and have no commercial value.
The
But
tiny
among these
pebbles and
quartzes, you can
gravel.
find gem-quality
Why is that?
quartzes,
Those
such as
tiny
rolled
fragments,
crystals that are
they can be
transparent,
incredibly
like smoky
valuable
quartz,
indicators.
green
Oh,
quartz,
okay.
blue
So, for
quartz,
example, let's say you're
rose
looking for
quartz,
jasper.
dendritic
You
quartz,
start finding
and
small
hematite
pieces of
quartz.
jasper in the
Keep in
gravel.
mind that these stones
It's
can
a
be
strong
somewhat
sign
rounded
that
and worn
larger
from friction,
jasper deposits
and may
might
even
be
go
present.
unnoticed at a
Oh,
quick
so it's like
glance.
those breadcrumbs.
So if
in
you like to
fairy
pick up
tales
small
leading to the
stones, keep an
treasure.
eye out.
That's a great analogy.
In addition
I
to
love
these
it.
stones,
Those
you can
tiny
find
gemstones
other
are like
stones that are
clues
also in the
Yeah.
quartz family,
scattered by the river,
such as
hinting
jaspers
at
of
what
various
hidden
types and
treasures
colors,
might lie
which are
beneath the
nothing
surface.
more
That's
or less than
amazing.
petrified
It's
wood,
nature's way
as
of
well as the
rewarding a keen
beautiful
eye.
orange-red
that.
agates that we
Now,
talked
the
about in
guide
the previous video.
highlights a few gemstones specifically. Jasper,
On the other
petrified
hand,
wood,
even
and
though
agate.
quartz crystals don't have a
All
very
right.
So
high
let's start
value in
with
most
jasper.
cases,
Okay.
if
Those
you
vibrant
find
colors
pieces
and
that are good
patterns
enough
are
to
just
cut,
mesmerizing.
you should know
Jasper
that
is
you
a
can sell them
fantastic
for around
example of
$20 a
how
kilo,
understanding a
as is the
gemstone
case with
formation
well-colored carnelian
can help
agates.
you find
In
it.
addition,
Okay.
it's not difficult to
colors and
collect a good
patterns
quantity of
are a
stones,
direct result
as
of
they
the
are relatively
minerals
common
Yeah.
in
that are
rivers.
present during its
If a
formation.
stone is
Right.
clean
Often
and
in
crystal
volcanic
clear
environments
inside,
or areas
it can
with
be cut
rich iron
and valued at
deposits.
about
So
10 times
knowing
more,
that, we
like a
can
smoky
actually
crystal,
target
for
our search a
example.
bit
Another
more
type of
Exactly.
gemstone
instead of
found
just
in rivers is
wandering
topaz.
aimlessly.
They are
You can use
usually
that geological
transparent,
knowledge to
slightly
your advantage.
bluish or
That makes
yellowish,
sense. That makes sense.
and can have a
But what about
transparent
petrified
frosted crystal
wood?
appearance
Okay.
due to the
Wood
wear and
turning
tear
into
caused by
stone.
time.
Right.
It can
That
look
always
similar
seemed
to
like
quartz
magic.
crystal in some
It might
cases,
seem like
but the
magic,
difference
it's
is
a
that
fascinating
topaz is
geological
much heavier
process called
and
mineralization.
also much harder than
Oh, okay.
quartz,
Over a really,
which
really
means
long
that if
time.
you rub one stone against
Mineral-rich
another,
water
a topaz
seeps
will
into
not
the
be
wood
scratched by
Yeah.
an ordinary
and
quartz
slowly
stone.
replaces the
And if
organic
it's broken in a
material with
corner,
minerals.
it will show
Wow.
much more
So
brilliance than a
essentially,
quartz
the
crystal.
wood becomes a
When in
stone
doubt,
replica
try
of
holding
itself.
2 stones of similar
Preserving those
size
beautiful
and
growth
comparing their
rings and
weight with a
sometimes
stone
using
you already know
insect
as quartz. If you're
So
still
those
in doubt,
pieces of
use the
petrified wood are
simple
like
relative
snapshots
density
of
test that
ancient
we show you how to
forests.
perform
Frozen
using
in time.
ordinary
It's
precision
mind-blowing.
scales in our
It is.
ebook
So knowing how
available at the
petrified wood
link below.
forms can actually help you identify it in the field.
Since topaz is
Absolutely.
heavier than
It often
quartz
has a
because it has a
distinctive
higher
weight texture.
density,
And
the
those
density of
preserved
quartz
rings
is
are
about
dead
2.6, while
Wow.
topaz can average
Now,
3.5.
I've always been intrigued
But
by
how much can a
agate,
topaz stone be
especially
worth?
the ones that contain
This depends on the
geodes.
quality of the
Yes.
stone,
Those crystal
but
filled
normally
hollows.
topaz stones can be sold for an average of $20 to $25 per
So
kilo.
cool.
They
If the
form
topaz stones that
when
you found are
mineral-rich
bluer in color
water
and of a higher
fills
quality,
cavities
they
in
can go
rocks.
for more than
Okay.
$200
And over
per kilo.
time, that water
Cut
evaporates,
topaz stones are very
and the
beautiful
minerals
and highly
crystallize,
prized as
Right.
jewelry.
creating those stunning formations.
Wow.
And agate with its
Now take a
banded
look at this little
structure
stone.
and variety of colors, is a common
Garnet
host
is
for
the name of
geodes.
this precious
So
stone
imagine
that can be
cracking
found
open a
quite
rock and
easily in
finding a
rivers.
geode filled with
Garnets can be
sparkling
found in all
amethyst
colors,
crystals.
but the most common is
That would be
red,
incredible.
which usually has a
And
burgundy hue.
knowing that
In
geodes
some
often
places it
occur
is
in
also
areas
called
with
Cape
volcanic
Ruby,
activity
but despite this
or
nickname,
sedimentary
it
rock
is not a ruby.
formations,
The
can
garnet forms in
significantly improve
nature
your
as a
chances of finding
crystalline
one.
dodecahedron
That's so
figure,
cool. It's
Yeah.
almost
amazing how much
rounded,
there is
so
to
it's common to
learn
find
Right.
river garnets
about
with
something
almost
as
rounded
seemingly
shapes.
simple
Rolled
as
river
picking
garnets
up
can have a grayish
pretty
color
rock.
or sometimes a
truly a
brownish
journey of
color,
discovery.
even a bright red.
And it's
These
about
stones are
so
quite
much more
heavy
than
for their
just the
size.
gemstones themselves.
If you find
Yeah.
one,
It's
it
about
will be hard to
understanding the
mistake
Earth's
it
history,
because the difference
the
between a
forces that
garnet
shape
and
our
most other
planet,
stones
and
is
the
very
beauty
large.
that lies hidden beneath
The value
surface.
of garnets
completely
increases
agree.
according to the
But let's not get
intensity of
ahead
the
of
red
ourselves.
and
The
whether
guide
it is more
emphasizes that
translucent on the
gemstone
inside.
hunting isn't
If
all
you are lucky
sunshine and
enough to
sparkling
find a
fun.
pure translucent
It's not
garnet,
just about picking
you
a
can be
spot
sure
and
that once
expecting it
cut,
to
the
strike
market
your
value of
branch,
this
is it?
gem can exceed $40 per gram.
Gemstone hunting requires
Sapphires are
patience,
also stones that can be found in
persistence, and a
rivers,
healthy
including
dose of
dried up
curiosity.
rivers
Yeah.
that have been dry
You
for
might
thousands of
spend hours
years.
searching and come up empty-handed.
Right.
And even when you do find
These
something,
stones can come in any
might not
shade
be
or
the
color.
dazzling
When a
treasure you
sapphire
look
has a red or
Okay,
purple
so it's
color,
not just
it is
about
called a
instant
ruby.
gratification.
In other
It's about
words,
the journey
rubies and
and the thrill
sapphires
of
are
the hunt.
actually the same
Exactly.
stone,
It's about appreciating
known in
the
scientific
process,
circles as
enjoying the
corundum.
outdoors,
But we
and
call the
connecting
red
with
stones
nature.
rubies
Right.
and all the
And
other
sometimes
sapphires, regardless
the
of
most
their
valuable
color.
finds
These
aren't
stones
the
have a
biggest or
hardness of
most
9 on the
valuable
Mohs scale and are
gemstones,
second only to
but the
diamonds
ones
in
that teach us
hardness.
something new or
Sapphires and
spark a
rubies
sense
are
of
not
wonder.
as common as other stones in
That's a great
rivers.
perspective.
What may have happened
So,
is that
now
some
we've
of
got
these
the
stones
basics
have become
down.
detached
Let's
from the
talk
original rocks
tools.
over the years.
Okay.
And
What
because
do
they
we
are heavier
absolutely need to
stones,
have in
they
our
may end up
gemstone
in
hunting
lower
toolkit?
places like the
The
riverbed.
essentials
The best places to look for
surprisingly
these
simple.
gemstones
Okay.
are in
Good
Sri
rock
Lanka,
hammer for breaking
Myanmar,
open
and
rocks.
India,
Mhm.
where they
A set
are
of
of
chisels for
impressive
finer
quality.
work.
Okay.
But
and a
even there,
sturdy
lesser
backpack
quality
to carry your
stones, like
finds
those
are a
found
great
here in the
start.
United
And let's
States,
not forget
can
safety
cost
gear.
upwards of
Of course.
The guide
$800 a kilo.
specifically
And clean
mentions
stones
safety
like those found in
goggles.
Sri Lanka
And I'd
can
add
fetch
gloves
more
to
than
that list.
$20,000
Good
a
idea.
gram.
Not just for handling sharp
I know
rocks,
it can
but
be
also
cool to
for
find all
protecting
these
your
precious
hands
stones.
from
Yeah.
But what
poison
about
ivy and
diamonds?
other hazards you
Do
might
you have a
encounter out in
chance of
nature.
finding
You're
diamonds in the
absolutely
rivers
right.
near you?
Safety should
Well, in
always
case you
be a
didn't
top
know, the
priority.
answer is
A good
yes.
pair of gloves can
And just
protect
out
you
of
from
curiosity,
cuts, scrapes,
you should know that it's
and
much
even
easier to
unexpected
find a
encounters
diamond
with
worth millions of
prickly plants
dollars
or critters.
than it is
For
to win the
sure.
lottery.
Yeah.
Now, the
In
guide
that case, you
focuses
might be
mainly on
thinking,
rivers,
I'm going to the
but it
first
also
river I can
mentions
find to
other
look for
potential
diamonds.
hotspots for gemstones.
But calm down, my young
Yes.
prospector.
Mountains, rock
I've heard it's
formations,
possible
even
after
old
all.
mines
Who's
and
to say
quarries.
today isn't your lucky day?
What are some of the things
But
we
it's
should
not that easy.
consider when
Diamonds worth
exploring
millions of
these
dollars
different
are very
environments?
rare. That's
a
because
great
diamonds are
question.
formed
Each
in the center of the
environment
earth,
presents its
where
own
it's
unique
hot and
challenges
there's
and
enough pressure
rewards.
to
Okay.
crystallize
For
the
example,
carbon.
mountains can be physically demanding,
Right.
requiring more hiking and climbing,
Yeah.
but they often hold rare and
Once
valuable
formed,
gemstones.
they are ejected
Wow.
onto the
Rock
Earth's surface
formations,
by
like
great
those
volcanic
pegmatites we talked
eruptions.
about earlier, can be treasure troves for specific minerals,
Okay.
while old mines and quarries
They
can
are
offer a
then
glimpse
carried by
into
the action
history
of
mining.
time
Wow.
until they reach the
Sometimes even
riverbed,
a chance to
where they
find
can
leftover
travel
gems.
long distances
Wow,
and end
so
up
there's
on
a
the
whole
beach.
world of
To give you an
possibilities beyond
idea,
the
some
riverbed.
miners
There
can
is.
spend
That's
several years in
amazing.
some
And
rivers
exploring these
to find a
different
single
environments
diamond
adds
valuable
another
enough
layer of
to
excitement
change someone's
to
financial
gemstone
life.
hunting.
So there's
Yeah.
nothing to stop you
never know
from
what
getting
you might
lucky
stumble
and finding a
upon.
diamond
This is
by
all
chance.
so
But how can you
incredibly
identify
exciting.
a
It is.
diamond?
But before we
First,
get
you can
too
watch our
carried
video
away
on
with dreams
diamonds,
of
or you
discovering
can
a
check out
giant
our
amethyst
exclusive book on
geode.
gems,
Let's
where there
take a
is a
step back and
completely
talk about
exclusive
the
module
ethics
on
of
diamonds
gemstones.
for an ultra
That's a
affordable
crucial
price.
point.
Yeah.
So if
While
you're a
the
curious
thrill of the
person,
hunt is
I
exhilarating,
advise you to
it's
venture
essential
into the
to
rivers in your
approach
area.
gemstone hunting
And I hope
with
with
respect
all
for
my
the
heart that
environment
you will find
and a
many
sense of
precious stones.
responsibility.
So it's not
I
just
think
about
after
taking what
watching
we
this
want.
Not at
video,
all.
you will
Okay.
start to pay more
Sustainable
attention to
and
the stones you
ethical
find out
gemstone
there, don't
hunting
you?
involves
So if you've made it this
minimizing our
far,
impact on the
let me know what
environment,
country you're from in the
respecting
comments
private
and take the
property,
opportunity to
and
learn how to
following
find
any
diamonds in
regulations or
nature
guidelines
by
in
watching
place.
this video
It's
or
about
clicking on the
preserving
first link in the
natural
description.
treasures
Thanks for
for
liking and
future
subscribing.
generations to enjoy.
Good luck,
I
gem
think that's a
hunters.
good place to pause for now. We've covered a lot of ground already,
Oh, yeah.
from understanding how